What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Kwaku and Kaya podcast. Is that what we're calling it? I guess.
Come on, give me the sign.
And the homie is back. He's been out in the last couple of podcasts, but I don't know what Kaya's been up to because he ain't. What you been doing?
Let's not talk about that. I sound boring if I said what I was doing.
Yeah, but it's all good. We've been building, we've been growing, we've been trying to transition. As you all will find out, if you don't know, you will know soon. So we've been trying to make things happen. But enough of us. We have a special guest here. You want to introduce our special guest? I feel like you got this first and last name right, Kaya.
Okay. First and last name, Ashlynn Collier.
Is it right?
Say what's up.
Ashlynn?
Say what's
Yes,
up.
that is how you say it. That is how you say
Don't
my
be
name.
nice if you said.
No, I ain't
Ashlynn Collier. Yes,
Okay.
that's it. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
What's going on?
Not much. I mean, it's a good Sunday. It's pretty outside. Get to hang out with you two goofballs. If I don't see y'all enough, I got to see on the weekends, too. The one day off I get from Be Chosen, and here I am. So, you know.
And she is a gym member. Started off that
way.
Lost weight. I'm pretty sure we're going to get into that. And just killing it in life. We just all became like good friends for real because that's how our gym is. Like, it just grew from
family,
actually members to like families,
Yep.
So now we just have a whole bunch of family members that, we have here in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. But we want to talk about you, like Kaya was saying, like what's been going on. Who is Ashlynn Collier?
Yeah, Ashlynn Collier. I'm 25. I was born and raised here.
Why you make that noise, Kaya?
Just pain.
We'll get into that. Okay. I felt the same way, but
Cabo Girardeau is great, bro.
Right. What did you call it?
Cabo Girardeau. It's all about mindset.
Yeah, Cabo. It's a Cabo to me. Not Cape.
I like that. Yeah. That's a good, making the best of every situation we're in. We'll all probably feel it, but anyway. No, who I am, I went away for college and went to River Grove near Chicago and then moved out to Phoenix, Arizona, finished college there. Then I was a 2020 graduate, so I did come back.
Arizona?
Yes, I did. I had full plans.
That's the biggest question that we have to ask.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, as far as we'll get into that, but it's part of my journey is I think God works full circles and, kind of brought me back as some unfinished business here that needs to be taken care of. Yeah. And I'm super excited to continue my journey here with you all as in the present right now. So, yeah,
that's what's up. So then when you came back to Cape, before you came back, of course you're in Arizona, weather's probably 160 degrees.
Right.
Probably around more of a fitness mindset. Probably bigger mindset.
Yeah.
Well, how would you explain Arizona when you were there?
Arizona was really cool. I definitely feel like a new me as far as mindset. I learned a lot about myself, about what type of environment and situation that I wanted to create for myself. And just the culture out there, there's very hustle culture, and a lot of people want to really be their best selves.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven.
It is, and it was super great. I mean, as far as my health, I've always been pretty healthy and everything, but I was
college
probably
athlete,
right.
Come on, let them know.
Yeah. What was the sport though?
Softball. Well, actually, softball and track.
I didn't know about the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's a
Ashlynn,
unique.
Kwaku race. I am faster than you. I know. I do have the Black Panther necklace. So.
Track and field.
Do they know about the Black Panther necklace?
Well, that's for another podcast.
All right,
just know that I'm faster. That's all that matters.
For now.
Uh-oh.
That day.
Uh-oh.
Which I wasn't even.
Monday class, we're going to have to find out. I don't know.
We'll see. Stretch my back out.
That was like 20 pounds ago.
No, but, so, I mean, as far as my health went, I was always pretty fit, healthy, but by far I was one of the bigger people on my team, and I never considered myself as, too heavy or anything like that, but people were just very goal oriented as far as their health and always prioritized that. There was I had joined a Bible study out there, and it was so cool because I've never seen so many young adults that just love the Lord, and that we're really, you know, hip as far as just kind of real and realistic with the lives that we live, as far as, you know, the earthly materialistic things. Like, we all kind of understood, but we all knew the goal at the end of the day was God. And I just met some really cool young adults that were all just super inspiring.
Yeah.
Sounds like Arizona's the next stop.
It was really cool.
Texas food.
It's really cool. Really appreciate it.
We probably need to go and visit for sure.
I felt very at peace with myself. I feel like that's probably where I felt the most peace probably ever in my life, and I almost feel like I'm trying to get back to that and then some. Yeah.
So is the peace within, is it internal or is it external? Because when you were in Arizona, of course, you said that you felt at peace. Is it more so like when you got there and you saw other people, like in examples and being around those people made you feel more at peace?
Right. No, I really feel like peace isn't internal. And as far as I fully believe that peace, you're going to get that from God. I don't think anything earthly, as far as trying to chase, will never be obtainable as far as really having God in your life. And that's where I felt my closest to him. That's where I really felt like my mind was on the right track, as far as trying to just better myself and just trying to get right with him. And I really felt true peace. And kind of coming back here, even because I was a 2020 graduate and I absolutely did not have plans to come back. But you know, that was just a crazy time for everyone. I didn't know what situation I would be in financially. My lease was ending. But believe me, I tried. I threw my stuff in storage and ended up coming back here. My car, all my things were out there. And it was probably months went by, and I was like, all right, I got to go get all my things. Yeah. So I ended up fully moving back here. And just to come back to a place where a lot of people know you, they know maybe who I was before Arizona. I felt like the Arizona people knew me as this person, but I felt like I had grown up here maybe in a different mindset, that people already had those expectations. So maybe I felt like I had to prove myself here, or I got to prove myself continually. And that's not peaceful. That's chasing. That's not. It's not. And that's chasing. That's chasing things that are out of my control.
So you could recreate yourself when you went to Arizona.
Yes.
Because it was like
Chicago. I felt like yes. You.
And that's what we talk about.
Where no one has any type of stigmas, or they don't know you. You know, you give them, you know, what you think is best for you, and that's all they have to go off of.
So I wasn't born and raised here, but I definitely know exactly what you mean, because it's like when people see me, they already know, hey, this, you know, like they already have that stamp, like this is who you are, this is what it is, and you kind of like have to live in that aspect, you know, because when you go out of it, then it's like, oh man, that's not really you, you know, like what you doing, you know. But when you get to go to a different place and get to start over, I think everybody should experience that at least once in their lives.
Absolutely.
You know, because
100%.
you're just out of the routine and your comfort zone every single day, and you feel like this is the ceiling that you keep hitting, this is the person that you are every single day. Right. It's like, how do you grow as a human being?
I think you have once you get out too, you have a chance to be what you want to be.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you're around all these small town people, your friends, whatever, and you want to stop doing what they want to do, you can slowly get sucked back into that. Just because, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? You have that set group of friends for the most part. Yeah. When you get to move out, it's free. Yeah. So I don't know how you came back.
Big time.
Well, I really think that whenever you go away and are able, you kind of feel like you can control that narrative of yourself. You feel like you can kind of control the information, everything that you're giving to those people, so they can only go off that. But when you come to a place where you've already been and people already know this, and then they already have a perception that you might be trying to change, that may not be the things that you're interested or doing anymore. Their perception is really something it's none of my business. It's none of my business anymore here, as far as the people that did know me or who I was. They can think what they want. They can have any type of assumptions. But as far as just how they see me, I fully believe that's their business, and I'm just going to continue to be the best me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Big time.
That's awesome.
for sure.
So then, transitioning from that aspect, as far as now you're back in Cape.
Yep.
How easy, or since this is a place that you were, people know you, was it easy to find a job? Was it easy to, start life and start making a living and figure out what you wanted to do?
How'd you hear about us? That's what I.
Yeah, that too. How did you hear
That's
about
a
Be
big
Chosen?
question.
That should be probably in a survey. That
Right. Right.
Writing it down.
One summer, I guess I've been back for going on 3 years now. I think it was a summer before so I think it was summer of 2020. Actually, I can't remember. Let's not do years. But it was a summer that I had posted on Facebook and said, looking for a good place to join, a good gym to join, or any trainers, this and that. And Al Young, which I know he's a big part of Be Chosen startup and everything, he had commented and shouted you all out. Well, it took me like 7 months before I even did anything with that. But
that was cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, I mean, I had a lot of comments that I was just like, I'm just, waited. And then I really got on my grind and was like, let me just reach out. So I think I reached out to you as far as joining and everything. And I think you all have some type of questionnaire on there that says maybe why you want to be a part.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember typing in my notes this big paragraph of why I want to join and what I want to change and things like that. And I think I still have it, but I kind of look back and that was kind of cringy. So I hope you guys don't have that on file.
Now we gotta go find it. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. And just because, like, I think that everybody because our attrition is really good. Like, because a lot of people, they come and they love it, and of course, it's a lot more than the across the street. Let's just say across the street. We're not gonna say who it is. We ain't giving no love to our ops. You feel me? No love to the ops.
Across the street. You know who you are. Across the street.
But there, it's a lot cheaper, and the thing is, like, people still paying $119 a month just to be in the family aspect that we have. And what we created from nothing, it still like baffles me sometimes. It's like, dang, people probably not even paying for that in gyms in bigger cities,
right?
Let alone Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where the poverty and everything is.
And as far as my explanation to anyone that asks, I give the price, and I'm like, it's an investment in myself. As far as who I am and just trying to be better. And there's really I've tried to lean against explaining, well, there's this, and this, because as far as I'm concerned, whenever you get in Be Chosen and we're around each other, you all sell yourself. I mean, it sells it. Be Chosen sells itself, and makes it easy to tell people to want to join and come be a part of the fun. So, I mean,
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So your weight loss journey, or because you said you're a little bit bigger when you were in Arizona, how's that look, or how's that been? Yeah,
I don't fully believe that I've ever really called it a weight loss journey. I've always been very confident in my body, never looked in the mirror. I've been very blessed and never looked in the mirror and really just never hated what I saw, anything like that. And it's really just been a health journey for me. I just want to continue, and I mean, that's really what it's been about for me. And I just want to take it to the next level, really, as far as joining with you all and really take an initiative, because as far as coaching, and I've always been on a team, I've always had a coach be on top of me as get in the gym, we got to do this, we had weights and everything. And then as soon as that ended in 2020, when you don't have anyone kind of making you do those things, I'm like, whoa, I got to do this myself. This is the first time where I kind of had an identity crisis in the health journey. Like, okay, this is on me now 100%, as far as making sure I'm consistent with it. So that really, I believe it changed in Arizona. Probably Chicago was more of that, didn't really care as much, or wasn't a priority, I guess. But Arizona, surrounded by real good people that wanted. So that's where it kind of started.
Yeah.
And then COVID kind of hit. You know, everyone was a little couch potato-ish, whatnot. But then...
Except for us. Kai and I were...
Man, we were working.
Did you? Some people did. Some people really made the best of COVID. I probably was not one of them, but I applaud everyone that did, and that's awesome.
probably the
What
best
did you?
shape of my life.
Really?
That's my transformation came
Yeah.
from it.
That's
Big time.
awesome. So you just did a lot of at home. You were just bored, or what?
Yeah. So
we got together 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
Just to do
Wow.
workouts.
and then I was already training people on Zoom. So
Yeah.
I just put together a Zoom thing that people wanted to pay. And I was like, bet.
What was
So-
doing so
Yeah.
many burpees? I was on one of those
Yeah.
Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like most of my clients it was like 5 people from Texas and like 4 or 5 people from Cape.
That's really cool.
And it was like, all right, bet, let's keep this thing going because I knew that movement was important. And I knew that so I would just host the Zoom sessions just outside in the sun, get some vitamin D, go back in the house. Cause you could really lose your mind just being in the house
Yeah.
24/7.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you
Yeah.
know. So we just kept on grinding, kept on making things happen because all of us are former athletes in here. Well, still athletes, I think. I think if you're an athlete,
Always an
you're always an
we
athlete.
still do athletic things.
Absolutely, every day.
Marathons, bodybuilding,
Yeah.
rugby,
hmm
working out with us.
Yep. Yep.
And that's what, we want to go into as well too now in the segue as far as like the mindset
Right.
of being an athlete. Like, of course, Andy Frizella has this thing called 75 Hard. And this is something, you still on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What
The
day?
way you looked at
What
me.
day?
the
Day
way
5.
You looked,
She said, "Sue."
yeah, the way you
Day
looked at me, it's
5.
like, they'll talk about it on the podcast.
No, 70 more days.
Yeah.
That don't sound too bad, actually. 70 more days. So I'm not doing 75 hard anymore. I'm doing 70 hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Perspective is everything.
It is.
I know.
It
I know it is. So how's your 70 hard going?
Yep. It's going really well. I mean, as far as just getting started, I thought the water intake, I thought that was going to be probably my hardest thing. And I actually really like it because that's the one I feel and see the most difference. As
Yeah.
far as the 2-day
Big time.
workouts, we kind of do that. I've done that, and reading, I enjoy reading. That one's not too hard. It was the water. But with my ankle, I do have an ankle injury at the moment, a fracture. So the outdoor workouts are kind of hard. I need to get more creative.
Yeah, you can't just
Hold on.
blaze over that. That's
What else? I don't. You sure you're doing
started
it right?
75 hard with the what now?
With a fracture, with an ankle fracture. Yeah.
That's so. It's 75 even. Harder.
Yeah.
Even harder.
Yeah.
Have you been taking your progress pics?
Yes, I have.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So that's how I failed. I forgot one day to take my progress pic. That's probably one of the easiest things. And then I woke up. It was 12:01.
He said,
No.
And then when you have the app, I think having the app,
"Ab helps
Yeah.
big time."
man, because if you don't have the app, you
Yeah,
you
get
basically
that
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie Rizzo was like, "Did you do your?" That picture showed up.
I need to get the app.
Yeah. The app is gonna help you because it allows you to check things off. So
Right.
like after you finish off the gallery, like check, and it's like just your mind just going because you're looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
Oh, first workout done. Oh, progress pic done, and I just woke up and I had everything else checked except for the progress pic. So it was day 43, and I just decided, I'm not gonna start back over. So I just kept on going. So I didn't really complete it because you're supposed to start back over from
Well,
zero.
I know for us, a lot of people try and go from 0 to 75 hard.
Yeah.
But we do we still work out
Man,
twice a day.
every-
cold
yeah.
showers.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
cold showers. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
we
I-
played basketball for two hours yesterday.
Right.
you know.
And I think that's the thing that separates it from a regular weight loss. What is that called? Weight loss challenge. This one is
Yeah.
truly, I just think, a mental toughness, saying, "Hey, I'm going to set out. I'm going to do these things for 75 days," and it really just goes along the lines of not lying to yourself. Like, "Hey, I told myself I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do them," because I think too many times the most important person that we shouldn't lie to is ourselves, and it's contradicting to the way we think, the way we move, and that's kind of for me, because the task itself, we do those things, and it's more of the learning that discipline, that consistency.
Absolutely.
I wanted to take it to the next level, and I'm like, this is it. Because this is a common challenge that's been going on, since COVID?
Yeah.
Or for
2018.
for a long time, and I just never was like, yeah, that sounds great. I want to try it one day, but I never wanted to. And for some reason, something happened. I'm like, it's now. It's now.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah.
What was that something?
I don't know.
Don't say like somebody broke up with you, like
no,
the ex started.
No.
Okay.
You just woke up one day and you're like, yep, today's
Right.
the day.
Exactly. Nobody does that.
I
Nobody
did. I really did. Well, and really, as far as my last year, I had just moved into my apartment, by myself, living on my own, and I had just started really getting in the gym and just mindset change, and really that was in March, and I really turned it up last year. It just like March was like my January 1st, and
you were in the gym a lot,
and I felt like March 1st, a year anniversary, let me level up one more time. Yeah. So I felt like this was it.
You gonna make Quaker when I do start it over again?
You should. You should. What thing?
March 1st.
But it's really cool, and I'm excited.
This is really like, I feel like seeing a family member like grow. And that's the same way I felt about Kai. Like when we first met, man, he was sophomore, junior high school.
Going into my junior years that summer.
Came from an injury and then it just transformed and then ended up training for a year and then ended up breaking records, with soccer, and just so many things just transpired, and it's like, dang, we locked in as family now. And then just seeing you, how we first, met, seeing you at the gym, seeing you grow every single day. Now just saying, hey, I'm about to do 75 hard.
It's cool seeing
with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
Crazy. The longer that we had the gym too, just the more people that we see that
changing
Jessica
lives.
Brand.
Yep.
But all these people that just became families.
Yep.
From walking through that door.
And it just goes back into the saying as far as the highest tide, right? So with us being the highest tide, raising our boats, and it's like, this is the expectation. Let's set it. So it's gonna be more of you coming around because they see you doing it with an ankle injury. Like they don't have excuses, So it's really dope to see you like make that switch.
Thank you.
And then when people do it and say it, you're like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
And you had some flack ASAP from it.
You got a little slack.
Yeah, just a little bit. I really look at anyone's opinion and perspective, not as personal to me, but just more of a reflection of maybe how they think and maybe how they take that situation personally to themselves. I think it's just a reflection. But as far as maybe all of the opinions and kind of comments, I had absolutely no idea that maybe people thought there was some negative connotations to 75 hard. I guess I had not even. I just look at that channel.
Entire fan, I guess you could say hate base.
I really genuinely had no idea. I was like, I didn't even think you could take something that seems so.
Yeah, doctors, trainers.
Yeah.
You said fitness coaches, experts. They hate on it, and the thing is that like you said it, they think that it's just fitness. It's a mindset thing. And the reason why people hate on it is because they don't want to put themselves through it, and they feel like, oh, you'll do this or you'll burn out.
And they couldn't do it.
And then they not a hit on it. So it's just, I would just say, welcome to Trying to Be Great. Yeah. At 25 years old, doing this, man, I'm like looking forward to seeing what 30 or 30, because this is just the beginning.
Right.
Not just the fitness aspect, because it's the gateway, but to everything else. Right.
I think so too. And really, it's that learning discipline in your life. I think discipline is just key to everything. I think if there's a genie that came down right now and was like, give me your 3 wishes, I would say discipline, wisdom, and compassion. Those 3 things will take you, I think, to the moon. Personally,
not a lot of 25-year-olds talking like that. That's pretty dope. I know Kaya wanted. What did you want?
What you mean?
A BBL. What's the BBL stand for?
Now we switching it up. Being busy, not lazy.
A BBL? I'm gonna take a guess. Can I take a guess on what BBL?
But if you know what it means, though, come on.
That's what he told me. If a genie came down, that's what he told me. That's what he would want.
That's
that was
funny.
no,
My one is hair transplant. We all know. We all know that.
okay.
We can make both those happen.
He
Right?
said we got one more wish.
Yo, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah.
make it
She's so optimistic.
We can make it all.
Right.
Anything is possible.
Right.
Right.
So the book that you're reading, tell us about that book so far.
Ooh. It's called The Sacred Search. It's about...
Oh, you finished the other one?
Which one?
The 4 Agreements?
Yeah, I read that one before. Before 75 Hard. We can talk about that one.
Yeah, let's talk
Which
about
one?
that one.
4
That's
Agreements?
the one I saw you with.
Oh, I love that one. I do, actually. And I'm probably late because I feel like I've seen it before, but I had never actually jumped on board. But I read it and it was phenomenal. I absolutely think about it almost every day. And you want me to tell you the 4 agreements? Does that ruin it for anybody? Okay. What? The 4 agreements. So don't take things personal.
That's a big
Yeah,
one.
finished. We just the
Love
one
it.
agreement. How about that?
The one agreement. We
Love
can
it.
talk.
That one, that is my favorite one. And to not assume, so not to make assumptions. Amazing. Love that one. And then doing the best that you can, and then being impeccable with your word. And
You read it before 75 Hard?
yes.
That's a good little precursor.
Yeah.
Big time.
No, it was really good. Probably my favorite one was, I guess I said the taking things personal, but now I think about it, the assumptions has really helped me as far as who I am. And I know things about myself as far as I'm a dreamer. I'm a visionaire. I love to create scenarios. I love to create visions for the future and this and that. But you also have to be careful because you can begin to really believe certain stuff that you create in your mind in situations that maybe shouldn't have got as much attention. And then that's when you start assuming, and that's how you hurt your own feelings. And I think it's easy to understand, well, when bad things, and then people assume, oh, they probably don't like me, oh, they're thinking this about me. But there can also be negatives to assuming good things. And this is an example, and I was reading the book when this happened, and it's something I don't think I would have caught if I didn't have this in mind. But we had a situation happen at work, and one of the more higher up people kind of handled the situation in a really good way as far as I was concerned. And I kind of wanted to go up and just thank him and let him know that I appreciated the way he handled that situation, and just show my gratitude as far as that. And anyway, so I went up there. I had never actually talked to him. He was one of the higher ups, and I was a little nervous. So I go up to his office, knock, and I sit down, and I kind of just explain myself, and hey, here you go. This is what I thought. I appreciate it. And I really appreciate he put everything aside, turned off his computer, really turned and looked at me, and we had this conversation, and I really felt heard. I felt he understood my appreciation, everything. So we even shook hands. I left, and I'm thinking, man, that was good. He's probably going to go tell all the other, higher up people, and they're going to talk, and they're going to think Ashlynn's awesome, and, he's going to tell that. Well, then I kept creating that, which is okay, but at the end of the day, say I see him again, and maybe he didn't have that same impression, or he doesn't greet me with a greeting that I think he should have. Yeah. Well, how will I feel? I'll probably be like, oh, well, he thought this, and then whose feelings got hurt? So I can, in that situation, almost hurt my own feelings if that person doesn't react the way I thought he should have.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And as far as coming up with good, futuristic assumptions, yes, it can be good. You want to have your goals. You want to think positively, but not to create this fake scenario and then really believe it to a point that you could get hurt.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Never heard it like that before.
Right.
That's powerful.
Right. And yeah, it was right as soon as I was reading that agreement, and I loved it. I do have one agreement that I kind of don't know how to take, and I'd like to hear your opinion, but it's the one that says to do your best. And when I was reading that, I was like, well, how do I know? How do I know if I'm doing my best? And it didn't really just flat out tell you how you know you're doing your best. So
I would say
I don't think nobody can tell you.
Yeah, how you do.
Right.
It's within self, and God will show you within what you create around you
right.
that you're doing your best.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I don't think you get. It's not like a day-to-day thing. Like you can, at the end of the day, like, oh, I tried my best, but like sculpture, painting pictures, like it takes time. Like you don't know until the end
Right.
if you did your best or not.
Right. Right. What about a feeling versus kind of just that knowing situation? Because I really think feelings can be deceitful. Well, I feel like I did my best,
Yes.
but I mean, the way you feel, you also can lie to yourself, just like you can assume and take things personal. So I feel like feelings are a tough one to base that off of.
I separate the feelings.
Right.
I think it's an order to things. Like if you can, like you say, you like to make scenarios.
Right.
If you can go through every single scenario and you tried every single one, you did your best.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep it that simple.
Right.
Don't add no feelings to it, no nothing. Just simply, I did this, and that. And what else could I have done? Oh, this? I didn't do this.
Right.
Let's try this. Then you complete your best.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And I really look at it as being prepared also for situations. It's kind of how I'm taking it. I'm going into, even for this podcast, for example, you know, I told myself I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be truthful and share my truth, my journey.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all I can do. And that is my best. Say, I might have stuttered. I might have repeated myself, X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, I genuinely am doing my best.
And I think stepping out of your comfort zone,
Right.
at least doing something that makes you uncomfortable. I try to do at least once a day. Right, so it's something that you can generate yourself. So you can start that, you know, early. You're doing the 75 hard. Every single day you're going to be out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Taking cold showers out of your comfort zone. But it allows you to be able to prepare for when that time comes.
Right.
When I'm in the cold shower and I'm like huffing and puffing and I can't breathe, trying to catch my breath, it allows me to prepare for when that person cuts me off or somebody gives me a finger in traffic. I don't have to react, and now I'm made this thing up in my head, and you know what's going on. And then they've just stolen 10 minutes of my life and my joy. You know, so being able to breathe and control your breathing, and cold shower mixed with breath work, which Wim Hof is a great aspect of that. It allows you to bring oxygen to your body and allows you to be able to control and be in control more than allowing external things.
Yep.
To feel that. So like that's why it's even pros and cons with feelings. You know, our feelings are, you know, they could be right. And like, hey, I got a feeling that this person, or it could be intuition, right? Intuition and feeling.
Kind of different.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so it could be like, okay, all right.
Feelings are real.
Yeah.
They're, you know, very real.
But you don't want to play into it too much because it definitely can take advantage of the situation by saying, oh man, you know, because we are created differently. Yep. Women. Oh, you know, I'm gonna say this. Don't beat me up on the podcast. We're created to feel a lot more than men. Men, we're logical. We're just, hey, this is how it's supposed to get done. 1 + 1 = 2. Let's make it happen. Women will more want to, you know, hey, like, you know, talk about it. You know, be more into the state. Than, well, at least. That's what you know.
I'm letting you go. I'm letting you go.
This is a great open conversation.
So I think it's how you're raised.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think just women is designed to feel more.
Yeah.
I don't think God made women that way.
Okay.
And specifically just for women.
Mm-hmm.
I think that how you're raised, if it's dysfunctional, if it's toxic, that shuts boys off. Some girls feel more because they are naturally nurturers. So if a girl is abused early, she is expressing herself in a way that she shouldn't be with men later.
Right.
with boys, they abuse when they're young. They express themselves with nothing but bottling it up and keeping it in, and then one day they almost kill somebody for being in a fight. It's an example.
Yeah.
So that's my take. I don't really.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
You know.
That makes sense as far as like how you were raised.
I will say though, I know
environment
when she
too.
posted the 75 hard, you and I took that more personally than it sounds like she did. Like we got upset for you.
Oh, as far as yeah.
And sometimes you need people like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And I promise you that it was my
That's
first.
true.
My first. I maybe got triggered for 10 seconds. And I was like, you know what? That has nothing to do with me. You know, that has absolutely nothing to do with me and everything to do with just her perception of it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, like I said in the beginning, that's their business.
And when you said that, I was like, dang, this girl is at peace. Because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to get to. You know, regardless of the internals, external, all of that stuff. Everybody's buying stuff, trying to look like this, trying to get BBLs so we can have that peace. You feel me?
I love that. I love peace.
Yeah.
I was actually.
I'm gonna go off you though.
Yeah.
You said something along the lines that it don't bother you. So you said taking your cold showers. It prepares you for the situation.
Yeah.
So look, I take cold showers, bro.
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, I'm driving. It's at night, headed home. I'm tired, and a woman, she literally.
Oh, this
I'm
actually
right
happened.
beside her. I'm right beside her, bro. She literally just boom. The first thing I do, look at my mirrors, hit the brake, and then I'm like, shoot, is she alright? That's the first thing in my head. Is she alright? I hit the other lane, sped up. I'm not upset, nothing. I'm looking. She rolls down her window. I rolled down mine. I was like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm scared. I almost had a little mini heart attack because I didn't see you." I'm like, when we at the stoplight, I had the opportunity to talk to her at the stoplight.
Yeah.
So I'm like, thank God I wasn't an asshole at that moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I could have just destroyed the perception of she was
Scared.
Kaya.
Yeah.
Me. You know?
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. Fill in the blanks. And I've been the person that's was driving and not even see this person one time, and I cut them off. So, and they were ready to. They did actually give me the finger. They were like, and I was like, my bad. And then they were like, okay, cool. And it was like just like that. It diffused the whole problem. Cause I could have given the finger back, like, what's up, man? Get out this. And then somebody got shot. Somebody like all these things were just escalated just from that. So when they did that, I was like, that's me. That's my bad. And they were like, dang, they weren't even ready for that. They paused for a second. They were like, okay, cool, no problem. You know, just like they didn't even know how to answer because I diffused that problem so fast.
Right.
You know, and that's what you felt when you did that. And when me and Kai were about to go to war for you, you were like, hey, you know, this is, and I was like, dang, this girl Ashlynn is going, like, we gotta, that's what's up, like.
And I wanted to tell you actually, so that day when you said that, you were super appreciative and just showing me a lot of kindness, saying, man, you seem different, you know, you seem peaceful, this and that. And I actually had just that day had a conversation with my therapist, and it's been going really well, and everyone should do therapy. And I had said the same thing, you know, as far as one of my goals, I just want to be at peace. I want to feel peace. I want my first reaction to be of peace. And later, he kind of ended it with, so you have any questions for me? And I said, how many times do you get that answer? Because I felt like it was really cliche, and I just want peace, you know. And he's like, funny you ask. I have, out of all my clients, you know, there's 2, and 2 of them are a lot older. Only 2 of his clients said that one of their main goals is peace. And I don't know what that says about our surrounding environment. And that maybe if there's different goals that are so, like I said, obtainable, that they're earthly, but I feel like I'm just on this journey of really trying to get that spiritual goal of peace. And I appreciated you saying that because it was the exact same day, and I was just like, that's what exactly what I'm going for.
Well, I can sense it because, number one, I've seen both aspects of it. I've been both aspects of it. And just being in Africa, not having anything, and being around people who didn't have anything, you could just see so much peace and so much joy and so much happiness. Things that people in America or developed countries are trying to get to, but are kind of missing the point, you know, on the way there, right? So even today, I'm just like, man, I'm thinking, or yesterday, I was destination, I gotta get here, I gotta do this, I gotta grind, these are my goals. Well, today, when I went grounded and just no shoes, no shirt, no hat, just in the sun, walking around in the ground. I'm free, you feel me?
Come on now. You had drawers on though, right?
Shorts, man. Shorts, yeah. I ain't in Africa. I'm still in the U.S. So yeah, I'm walking around and we call it grounding or earthing, and just being one with the ground, because the thing is that doing that decreases so much inflammation in your body. Just allows you to recharge. And rejuvenate. And I'm like, dang, you know what? It's not so much of me trying to get here, the destination and the goal. It's more so the fun that I'm having to getting there, you know, and the goals that me and Kaya have, Future and all my homies, and we're like, let's do this, let's do that. And, you know, that's ingrained in us to be able to, you know, as athletes as well, too. But it's like, how much fun can we have while we're still playing in the game? Like, you know, if I was to play soccer with Kaya, like, we're in the same team, how much fun can we have? If I'm on Future's team in football, how much fun can we have in this process? Win, loss, tie, draw, whatever it is, while we're trying to get to this goal that we're trying to attain. And then I just started realizing, like, that's what I want, is that peace in that. And, you know, I've seen it so much in Africa, I've seen it so much in developing countries or third world countries. I don't like calling it that. I call it developing countries, because, you know, they can be developed in other ways. You know, we just look at it as finances.
That's a good point.
You know, but you go into these
100%.
places, and all these people are traveling to these places like, why are you so different? And they're multi-billionaires, and they're committing suicide because they don't have peace. Right. You know, so to see it on you that day, it was like, I've seen this
I appreciate it. I do. And I think really, earlier you kind of asked me my mindset now and even compared to when it was back then. And one big change that I have really noticed about myself is how I look at my goals. I used to set goals, I'll say in college, high school, I'd say back then, as far as very futuristic. You know, future Ashlynn, I'm doing this for future Ashlynn. She's gonna get here. We're gonna get to places we need to be. And kind of thinking back now, well, I am future Ashlynn. I am who I thought I was whenever I was younger. And yes, I've always been motivated and things like that, but I wasn't present back then. I was doing everything out of just trying to make myself better in the future. And now with the mindset I have, I'm trying to get better for present day Ashlynn. You know, I'm trying to get better for me right this very moment, because that will help future Ashlynn. And because we can't live in the past and we can't live in the future, because those things aren't real. You know, there is nothing real about the future or the past. The only real moments is what we have right here. And I think that's where the peace is. The peace is not in the future. It's not where it eventually gained, because we're not promised. We're not promised the future. So if you put all your hope in just the future, then you may come out with nothing.
You're robbing yourself.
So and I'm gonna get mine. So.
And the thing is that, like, I also know that as far as being a follower of Christ, you know, how big of a role has that played in your life as well too?
I always say my faith has been, faith is action. And I always think that God has really put in his action in my life, and I trust him. And so I take the actions when I see opportunity. I really feel a divine presence over myself, divine protection. I have always felt it, and it has really motivated my faith as far as the actions, because I don't try to live out of fear, and I don't try to, the only thing I fear is not doing something to my best of my abilities and putting forth God first. his will. And there's just so many opportunities that I have had in my life where people may look at things as coincidences, and I'm just like, that's God. I always am looking at that's God first. And it really motivates my steps after. If I'm saying something about I have a car issue, and then all of a sudden this person walks in and they got a mechanic whatnot on, I'm going out of my way to introduce myself and be like, hey, this X, Y, and Z. And I always just feel like those things are God. I don't think I know we get crazy on the whole manifestation, say what we want, watch our tongue, so forth, but because of my faith in God and because of his faith in me, he creates those actions and I also create those actions, and it has just ruled my life 100%.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, it's been cool. It's been a cool journey, and I really feel like God's got me, and I believe that.
So for all the single men out there, they want to know this one question. They've been waiting, watching the podcast for 46 minutes. Relationship status.
I am single.
There you go.
I am single, but I'm reading the book I said, Sacred Church.
Yeah, what is that about?
Yeah, that's cool. It's about, I guess, finding a partner, and both of you. So it's about finding a partner, and it's a Christian book, and it's really about finding someone with the same missions and goals as you. And really, they say, putting forth the kingdom of God first, and in that Bible verse, and then everything shall be added to you. And yep, and that's kind of the foundation for that book. And then they talk about the relationship, and they say some wild things. I mean, as far as relationships in a heavenly sense versus earthly sense, and it's really good. I highly recommend that book. I mean, they go as far to say that love is not enough to marry someone. And I just think things like that is pretty interesting.
I mean, in today's day, people get divorced all the time.
Yeah.
Marriage is
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen
it.
Yeah. I don't think it is.
Because love is not action anymore. It's just been one of those things now. It's just been desensitized. Like we just say it without actually meaning it. And yeah, it's not enough. Like we need action. We need like you say faith. That's action.
Right. Your relationship with God, it's not enough to just say I love him, but I mean actions come behind that as far as your faith goes and everything. And I mean it's the same as I think we should base every relationship off the relationship we have with God. If we are going to church once a week, maybe getting on our Bible once more, that's only 2 times. And say your partner, say you only call them 2 times, do you think that relationship would work out? I mean, you can have a relationship based off 2 phone calls a week, and I think that's the same with God. And so that's the same where I'm also giving him a lot of control in that area.
Yeah.
So.
Which that's it's a tough one. Like God, take care of everything else.
Yeah.
With this area, I want to do
well,
by myself.
What was that mean? Like until God comes and sits on my bedside and says, "Hey, my homie's trying to talk to you." Then.
Facts.
Then.
Facts.
We might be talking.
Yeah. Kyle, you got any remarks, any questions?
Man, I'm just been sitting back and listening. It's been crazy.
I've been taking notes.
Man, I'm over.
So
really good.
Thank
really
you.
You need to read that book before you talk to the Latina.
Yeah. Hey. Well, I mean, as far as like finding someone that's goal oriented.
Yeah.
And wanting the
same missions.
as
Yeah.
you in this in like small towns, especially this one. I mean, I feel like it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause everyone has one goal here, and it's not peace.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, finding the same mission, and as far as there's no one person has a better mission than the other, they're just different. Yeah. And if you got 2 people, one loves to travel, one doesn't, but they can't see the difference or they don't want to, someone's going to have to sacrifice.
Yeah,
someone is going to have to sacrifice for something they don't want. But if you allow yourself to not feel, even though you like that person, and to find someone with that same mission that loves to travel, no one has to sacrifice, and beautiful things can happen from that. And really that's what this book talks about, putting God first, and then finding that partner that also has the same mission.
The thing is that like now, I think that people just give up on people easily. Like,
So
it's
many
like-
options, or so many.
Yeah, exactly. You have dating apps, you have social media, you have all of this stuff to where you can just hop on.
Well, everything looks perfect on social media. And then once you get with one person, you have
1000%.
one mistake or one
Blemish.
argument, then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I can do better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've
Yeah.
seen this person and they're
Yeah.
showing interest, and I think women probably get more hits on that than men. Like women, as far as like getting DMs, and because guys
phone
shoot the
is
shot.
dry.
Yeah, You feel me? But it's just one of those things that women will definitely get that because the attention. The guys know. Oh man, let me give her attention because they can
Well,
sometimes.
Rose,
I'm not gonna say that they are more attention seekers because I've been wrong about that.
You already got to catch up my
Yeah, I'm open one. But as far as that aspect, like that can gravitate towards that. Also, according to how they've been raised, 1,000% for real. Because women have been raised to be all those things that they're supposed to be, as far as in the queendom aspect, and you have men that have been raised in the kingdom aspect to be able to be, to be a man and lead. And I think what the devil is working on right now is breaking up houses, and the household is like not having a father there, and then just
That's a whole other podcast.
yeah,
So.
the fallacy of who's the leader, who's supposed to be doing what, who's supposed to sacrifice, and now everything is just gone, haywire. So hopefully it takes your generation and younger to start seeing that and saying, hey, start reading that book and other things, and you can be the leader and the catalyst for stuff like that, because people probably like, oh, beautiful 25-year-old girl like this is probably not talking about God and sharing faith or reading books like this during 75 Hard. And that's the reason why we want to have you on, because it is a different perspective, a different life, and a different mindset that you have.
You sure
appreciate that.
I need to see your license.
I appreciate that. No, I mean, as far as just kind of not really having my blinders on, you can really see other people and be like, well, that's not working for him. And you can look at other people and be like, that looks like it's working. So I'm just trying to do the things that I'm like, I've seen that work before. That doesn't work. So I mean, that's really the path I'm on.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what's one thing that you want to share to the audience in our ending the segment aspect? Like, what's something that you, if it's been a podcast you heard, a book that you read, something that you saw, fortune cookie.
Right.
We're trying to walk.
Something that Kaya said in class for his meditation.
Right. I guess I'll leave you all with, really, I believe we owe it to ourselves. I think we owe it to ourselves and nobody else's perception, nobody else's words or actions that they do to us, and not to take those personally, and that we owe it to ourselves to genuinely be the best person every day in this very moment that we can be. And I think that'll set us up for being the best to others, and that's where love and that peace is created in those environments. So that's kind of what I want to leave you with.
Well, Ashlynn, we definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, we're going to have to have you on
Thank
after
you.
70 days.
Right.
See if it's about that life or not.
No, I have to.
Yeah.
Accountability.
For sure.
So that's been cool. Appreciate it.
No problem.
That's been episode number 4. I'm sorry, pay the fee.
Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe.
We'll leave Ashlyn's IG.
Don't hate. Yeah. Like the homie say, don't hate. Subscribe. Share the podcast, and yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
And don't be DMing her about stupid stuff. All right. Make sure you read the book and then DM her.
Right. Don't play with me. Play with God.
Hire your friend that dress up as Jesus. Go to her.
Right. Tell God to go sit by her bed and say, "That's the homie," and it better be you.
Oh man.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
You did great.
Thank you.
This is why we don't have